Welcome to Marth and the Machines Volume 8, this time bringing you a battle against a foe previously unbeknownst to me, the Scorn. So I decided to field the caster I'm most experienced with, Commandant Gurvold Irusk. He meets his Scorn match, Tyrant Commander Xerxis. Enjoy! This is the table, and as you can see, the bright spot in the middle is the Mosh Pit Snake. Seriously, we need more scenarios for our second league season. The Scorn force included Tyrant Commander Xerxis, bringing with him a Titan Gladiator and a moonwalking Rhinodon showing me his Jackson side. There's also a unit of Cataphract Citrati, awesome models I say, and Praetorian Swordsman, plus an Ancestral Guardian. I had Gurvold Irusk with Victor the Juggernaut, minimum Kayazi Assassins with Underboss, a Greylord Turnian, the Great Bears of Gallowswood, Widowmakers, a Manhuntress, and Gorman the Wolf. Last issue I already explained why he advanced deployed. It was a mistake everyone thought to be right. I boldly put him up as far as I could. Round 1. The first turn went to him, which suits me. Xerxis puts Merciless Assault on the Citrati and Armor of Karak on the Rhinodon. The rest of his stuff, bar the Ancestral Guardian, runs and the Rhinodon riles to max fury. I give one focus to Victor. The Turnian hesitately advances. The Manhuntress moves through the forest so she could charge out better. The Great Bears simply move. Time for some action. Gorman drops an acid grenade into the clustered swordsman, killing 5, whose souls straight went to the Ancestral Guardian. Then he whacks the bushes and scoots off. The Widowmakers take shots at the Citrati and Rhinodon, sniping for damage. Now the Kayazi move up, spread out so that any charge would end in them. Then Irusk activates, puts superiority on Victor, moves, and puts Iron Flash on the Kayazi. Victor uses the focus to run. Round 2. Xerxis upkeeps his spells. The Citrati put up shield wall and walk up the hill, engage the Kayazi but miss them. The Ancestral Guardian spends a soul to speed up. The Gladiator runs to move around the hill. The Swordsmen charge into the Kayazi, but those that get into contact are stabbed to death by the ripostes. The Rhinodon stays back to avoid being alpha striked, but turns around to be able to charge himself next turn. I'm on and Irusk upkeeps his spells. First, the Widowmakers put more holes into a Citrati and the Rhinodon, taking out its mind. The Manhunter moves in front of them. What now comes could be a Victorian poem, it certainly results in death. Charge of the Great Bears. They all reach the Rhinodon. I think we have to rename things. The Great Bears do not attack, they process the enemy. This time, they turned a slightly damaged Rhinodon into a perfect amount of mincemeat. Irusk goes for the Empire, casts Battlelust on the Kayazi, moves, and takes a potshot at the Citrati, doing a little damage. The Kayazi, due to parry, make use of the ruled science that charging is, and most get their 3 inches to charge the Citrati. 2 Citrati are killed, the others are severely wounded. Arm 20 on Troopers is breakable, but it takes effort and some average dice rolls. However, it was already obvious that the Citrati were lost. Ventilate turned their resilience into that of a blow-up doll. The Greylords move to frostbite the last swordsman. Gorman throws a smoke bomb in front of them, so that only one could be charged by the Ancestral Guardian next turn, then he bushwhacks away. Victor moves over to take care of the Gladiator should it arrive. Round 3. Xerxis moves, upkeeps Merciless Assault, puts Armor of Karak on the Gladiator, and feeds. The Ancestral Guardian spends a soul to charge and hacks down the only Greylord he could see, but he needs 2 strikes since the old man proves to be tough ones. The Gladiator runs up and riles to max out. The Citrati that weren't in contact advance, shield wall and attack, but they cannot hit the Kayazi. Even though the ripostes are dangerous due to Battlelust, their Arm 22 saves all but one from death, and that one was severely wounded before. My turn. It's time to finish this. Irusk drops Iron Flash, upkeeps superiority, and loads Victor with 3 focus. Gorman chucks a blind grenade at the Titan, hits and scoots off. The Manhuntress moves out of the forest, as do the Widowmakers. They try to shoot stuff, but only one reaches the Titan, sniping him for a little damage. The Greylords move and cast Frostbite, but can neither destroy the Ancestral Guardian or wound the Titan. Victor charges the Titan, fails to freeze it, but still knocks off half his health in one go. Then the Great Bears move into the back of the Citrati, knock out the middle one, and then the other two with ease. The Kayazi now charge Xerxis. Well, how many small-based models do you think can be gathered around a medium-based one? The answer is 7. Xerxis, even with its bits of fury left, is chanceless against this circle of death. The underboss does him in. We went to check our scenario rules and figured out the game was not over because the gladiator was still in the pit. So round 4. Next season we'll just use Mark II rulings. However, the Titan immediately fails its threshold check and wants to run away. But the freeze strike he triggers from Victor freezes it in place. The Ancestral Guardian kills the remaining Grey Lords. This means I'm on again. As Irusk upkeeps superiority, moves and fires boosted shots into the Titan. I could have acted better, but I was a little pressed for time. Victor kills the Titan and the Widowmakers make their move. One of them gets line of sight on the Guardian, hits and snipes it to take out its last box and destroys it. Irusk wins, or rather, Kado has obliterated the enemy force. In hindsight, well, it just goes to show everything that came from Legends was utterly broken, except for the Drudge Grunts. The Kayazi had one serious advantage though. There was nothing he could do to circumvent their defense. His line would have eaten Manowar alive and he would simply have pierced Iron Fangs, but he could not handle the assassins in any way. Up to Metamorphosis though, Scorn was armed with little more than sticks and stones, so it's not that surprising. On another note, the same player played Makeda in his next league game, winning. Okay, he had Molly Khan, but still. So it probably was just that Xerxis wasn't exactly his kind of guy. I don't exactly know what the next issue will be about. I feel like testing some of the Mark II Steamroller scenarios as a suitable excuse for more virtual tabletop, but it probably will be the third and last round of our league. I just can't tell whether it will be a matchup between Menoth against Epic Vladimir or between Darius and Prime Sorcerer with a lot of destroyers and the Behemoth. However, whatever it will be, until next time, farewell.